We did the diagrams and the examples of the Legals, Damianos, Greco, Lawleys, Blackburns and Pillsbury. So please, you need to review them. That's very important that we stick to the theme. Maybe I'll quickly do that. It's going to guess that maybe you didn't have the time to do that. So Legals mate, maybe I'll look at one example with Legals mate keep getting in a position where we use the bishop and the knight together. Okay, that's Legals. Then Damianos mate. Hopefully we get a good example here. Oh, that's a fun one, that Damianos mate. Feels like a domino, but it's not a domino. So Damianos mate is that one. We use the open file. In Greco is the nice, let's say, tactic. Where you get into this position. So the key thing is getting to a position where you have the queen and the knight here, and then get it right to get the king completely isolated. Okay, that's Greco mate. Then Lolly was the one, remember, with the pawn. So that was one with the pawn. And yeah, it was quite a fun one. Okay, that's Lolly. Then Blackburn's mate. Blackburn's mate was, remember, the two bishops working together with a knight. Let's see which one this was. This one was example of where you use the mate. Blackburn's. The continuation was here with opening up. Okay, so that's that one. I just want to quickly see if I can get a better example here, maybe. Maybe use some stockfish a little bit. Yeah, it's again a threat with Blackburn's mate, unfortunately. More the threat than anything else, unfortunately. Okay. Okay, but this is just for review for now. Okay, but anyway, it was the two bishops forcing the king into a corner. Pillsbury mate, let's just continue because we want to really get to the tactics. So with Pillsbury, you can see clearly the open king there, and then using that idea, that's the Pillsbury mate. Okay, let's get to the exercises. Okay, so the first exercise, this one counting 1, so it's supposed to be straightforward as white. And here you want to typically pause before you continue. Here we can probably see very familiar, I hope you can see it's very familiar with that bishop. So what one was that? Was that Blackburn's or Pillsbury? I can't remember. Yes, that was Pillsbury's mate. Okay. So please take a piece of paper, check this. I've done this before, so I'm going to focus more on us doing it together. Let me see. It might be that we're using the queen, maybe, to pull the queen out and then get the rook in there. That might be the idea. That might be a very good idea. Where else can we put the queen? Okay, so it's probably that. Okay, let's look at Stockfish for help. Okay, so Stockfish is actually saying queen f3. And then in this case, they actually say, instead of mating, the only way out would be actually queen Queen G6, and then that's interesting. You can, but the theme is about Pillsbury, so we don't want to overthink it too much there. If you want to overthink it, let's see, you're moving back to there. King D2. Oh yes, that's a very good move. Okay, so the king just got the king open, then get at least the queen out. Okay, great. Second one, exercise 2. So exercise 2, and then we've got the bishop. I want to say the knight hovering in. This one is also as white. How can we force this one as white? Okay, this one seems to be getting, let me check. I think the best move here, it is a bit tricky but it's a theme, and I think it's to do with the knight coming in and then forcing a mate there. Sometimes the solution in the book is different, but let's look at Stockfish solution. Here, yes, they want the knight to G5. Then it's Greco, H6, Queen G6, best moves, and okay, it's a long mate, but it's that position where the queen and the knight was together. Okay, the third one. I think we still have some work to be done. So this one is not straightforward because it counts 3 stars. That's why we should know it's not that straightforward. The feeling might be to move in with the queen, and then it's going to block with, it's white, block with a rook, and then we're supposed to try and get the rooks through. Okay, let's use some help. Let's ask Stockfish. In this case, it's actually saying, there we go. So that's a trick that we need to swing the rook. If over here, let's just take best moves, and Lolly's, the idea of Lolly forcing the advantage with material. Okay, the fifth one, so we see the 2 bishops lining up here. So the bishops are lining up. So surely it's going to be, which one was that again? I can't remember the names of all of them, but the bishops lining up is supposed to be Blackburn's mate. Okay, or Blackburn's theme. This one is 1 star. Supposed to not be that difficult. I suspect it's going to be the queen coming in there maybe. Have to take or push the pawn. Let's say you take, well, if you take, then, well, you can't take, right? Because if you take, the bishop will checkmate. Okay, let's look at the solution. So yes, it's queen h5, that's the point. Interesting, bringing the check, taking the bishop, but it's not, cannot avoid this. It's just a lot of material blocking. Okay, that's the fifth one. Number 6, we're midway. Sixth one, it feels again like Damihanu's mate. The pawn can be useful. Just quickly want to check because you don't want to lose momentum. So if you get your rook in there, it's got to take. Then you get your queen in there, blocking those squares, running back, then pushing the pawn, and then after that I think it's unavoidable. That is 2.6. But I think the sequence is important here, not to push the pawn, because I suspect if you push the pawn, you might be able to use the rook to still get out. Okay, let's look at Stockfish. The Stockfish, it is saying, yes, momentum-wise, that's the only move. Otherwise, the king can get out. Queen, king running away. There you go. And there is no return. Okay. Okay, that was Damihanu. Number 7. We're after midway, so hopefully it's going smoothly. That was actually 2 marks. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I don't know, we need what to pass. I'm looking just in the book. We want 11 to pass. Okay, number 7. Okay, it feels like it's going to be the combination of what do we call that one again? A Legal's mate. I think that's going to be Legal's mate. Okay, so Legal's mate. Let's see if there's forceful moves. If we check, if you take, and you check again, yeah, there's a lot of combinations, right? Okay, but let's not waste your time. Okay, so they playing. Oh, actually they're going for Greco. So it's knight g5, d5, e5, queen 5. Okay, this is a very technical one. Okay, or let's say they made it very technical. Let's go jump back. Okay, so this one, put in the knight, and best moves. There were a couple of good best moves. Okay, tricky one, 2.7. Okay, 2.8. 2.8. Is it 2.8? Doesn't feel like any one of the themes though. Oh, it is as black. And it's like it's the bishop. What theme was this? Okay, it's black. Oh yes, of course, if you're going to open up the king, that's That's the themes of Pillsbury. That's the Pillsbury one. Okay, so but how do you start this one? 2.8, you start with a bishop, or I think you start with bishop. Okay, but let's look at the solution. Actually, it wants to start with a queen f3. Oh, that's a nice one, because it's queen f3. If you found that one, great stuff. Rook, bishop, queen. A lot of blocking material, and here we go. Off we go. Okay, so it's quite beautiful. Okay, so that's just the queen to open up the king there. Okay, that is 2.8, 2.9. We're getting there. 2.9, sorry, I just want to clean that up. Hopefully you also didn't look at the solution. This is supposed to be a tricky one. Lots going on as white. So it feels like it's going to be the two bishops having to break open. Okay, so I suppose that's the whole idea, to break open the king here. Where do we go? Where do we go? 2.9. Okay, so of course you want to pause and, you know, to work your way through the manual. I wonder if you're going to take away, because that's the problem, the knight. So it might be that you take the bishop to get rid of the knight. And if that's the case, you can probably get your bishop in to check. What then? But unfortunately that bishop is closed there, right? You can see that bishop is closed. But definitely you can get a strong threat here in as well. Okay, let's look at the solution. Please write down your answers, because you only get marks for your answers. So 2.9. I want to guess the queen will come in. Take. Check. King's going to move away. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it did say queen, so I got my point there. Then actually it wasn't as straightforward, so the best answer for Stockfish was h6, queen g6. So you have to write down all the combinations, unfortunately, as well. So it's sort of the idea I had, but it does become very technical. So this one ends up in material advantage more than anything else. Okay, that's that one. 2.9. I noticed that another board setup issue. Okay, but anyway, okay, so here's the next one. Okay, so that's a very tricky one. And for me, it's either e5 or taking that one. If we're taking there, I'm trying to see how we can get out again. So if we take that one, we potentially have the bishop to probably go in there, and then the knight will come out. We can take the queen, of course. But let's have a look at solution. But pause before you want to see that. Okay, so it's saying knight d4. Continuation. Yes, there we go, the check. And actually they're selecting queen d7, not the knight. So queen d7, bishop, because it's just material advantage, not a mate with this one. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, so with the next one, it feels like, I think, Lolly's mate. The next one, 2 2 marks, so it might not be as straightforward. Let's quickly see what we have to work with. We have the queen and the knight. If we take the queen there, or if we take there, of course, some of our pieces are just too slow. So it would be nice to have the knight sliding up a bit quicker, but we don't. If we take the knight there, not really where I want to be. Okay, so let's look at the solution. They actually want to reroute the knight to his right position. Okay, it's also not mate on the table, but surely using the pressure to get the pieces in the right places. Okay, and then the last one. Last one. Oh, this is black. Black to move. Just feels the wrong way around with, I think, Legal. Now that's interesting because we might have a queen sack on the table, so let's just we have to work through these things properly, right? But yes, if we take the knight there and we lose our queen there, then the rook's open as well, right? Then if we come in with the check, that should come next, surely. If we come in the check, remember that that d2 is covered by our knight. Then the king has to run away to the f pawn, and then we get a free check, so we can take the bishop then away to the right place. Okay, let's see if we have this right continuation. Okay, so there we go. We're not going to follow that one. We don't want to follow the queen a4. Let's rather follow this thread. Let's take the queen. It's more fun. And king running away. And there we go. Knight g3. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Please also go have a look at another video because you want to make sure that you understand Legals, Damianos, Greco, lollies, blackpins, and Pillsbury. You want to have a good grasp of that, and then you want to do the test again if you struggled a bit. See you in the next one.